All right, welcome back to the Vi Media channel. My name is Eric Brown. I am the president here at Vi Media. We are a digital marketing company, and I'm also a partner at Mogul Holdings, where we specialize in growing home service-based businesses and other businesses, really depending on who you are. We service about 75-80% of home service clients. We also do specialty medicine, lawyers, among other things. But of course, on this channel, we talk about everything related to marketing. And what I realized when I was about to record this episode is that I didn't even celebrate, and we did not even celebrate the fact that we just surpassed 52 episodes a couple of weeks ago, which means that we have been doing this every week for over a year. Let's get a round of applause. Great success. So, I wanted to, I was trying to think about really something new to talk about today. And as I was going through some of the old videos, and really not even old, because a lot of that stuff is still up to date as far as the information that's being presented on them. But I wanted to go through and I think highlight a couple of important points that I have talked about on previous episodes of this show. Of course, that comes out every single Monday on the Vi Media channel. You can listen to this and watch it on YouTube or on Spotify and everywhere else. So please give us a listen. You don't have to watch us on YouTube, but of course, we appreciate everyone's support. Um, as always, like, review, comment, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. But getting into it, so there's really in 2025, there's been a hard focus kind of on AI, right? And AI trends and things like that. And I think it is important, that your marketing company or marketing provider is using AI tools to cut down on some of the time in order to hopefully, obviously, save money as well for the client that they're performing work for. Now, there is AI that's great to use in marketing. Now, it's not the end all be all, right? We know that it still is going to take a person highly qualified and trained in SEO to make use of AI programs, right? It's not like you can just hire someone that has no experience, put them in ChatGPT, and all of a sudden they're an SEO expert. I wish it was that simple, or maybe I don't. But we know that it's not, right? We know that we cannot just build a marketing company off the back of these LMM products. It's still going to take a person that is very skilled in SEO to make that stuff happen. So, just be aware of that. AI, of course, as you know, in all facets of life is essentially just a buzzword at this point. We have AI overviews and everything like that all over the place. So really when it comes to AI, also what I wanted to talk about is, Google AI, Google search, right? And ChatGPT and these different platforms that people are now using to search on. And of course, Google's always been used to search on. Now they have the AI overview. It's important that you continue to perform SEO on your website and, of course, your Google business profile. Because what is being pulled, if you type in, say, you're talking about best marketing company St. Louis, right? Who is going to be pulled from that? Well, it's going to be the people best rated on the Google business profile. And then also those people that are, highly rated on the organic section of the website. So more likely than not, the best way to show up in ChatGPT and these other platforms are to also be ranking in Google, right? I mean, pretty much as simple as that. And that's how it's working now. Also, it comes to everyone's like, how do I rank for voice? Well, again, pretty much the exact same way that you're ranking now. There's really no differentiation between ranking for search on someone typing it in versus them talking about it. Because the main difference is you're adding like what before. So instead of typing, best roofing company St. Louis, now you're like, hey Siri, what is the best roofing company in St. Louis? Right? It's going to produce the same results. So don't get caught up in the buzzwords with voice search and AI overview and things like that. For the most part, you want to stay on course, and it's important in order to do so. We know as well that those companies, Now, of course, there are exceptions, and we've talked about this on Marketing Monday here. But we know that Google, since the middle of last year, has been attacking AI generated website content generated websites and taking them down in search results, which of course is good, right? We don't want the top ranking stuff for all search terms just to be AI generated nonsense because the dead internet theory is pretty much already true, but that would just be the end of it right there. If you don't know what that is, look it up. So stay your course when it comes to SEO, right? That's what I'll say about like AI search and voice search. Uh, you know, I will say this and I will continue to say this: generate reviews consistently for your Google business profile. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People ask me all the time. I tell them, I'm like, hey, look at West County Insulation and look how many reviews we get, right? We are consistently getting reviews, and that is why we are essentially ranking number one in Google in St. Louis on the Google business profile section when we're hovering around third organically, right? So reviews and consistently get them. Don't be nervous about asking, your clients and things for reviews, right? If you have a home service company and you're working at people's homes, it's very easy. You already have someone there doing the work. When the work is wrapped up, essentially say, and there's obviously different ways to spin it, to ask them for it. But, if you're a home service company, right, you're roofing or your HVAC or whatever it is, or even if you're selling custom made tables, for example, when the project is complete, right, just say, hey, would you mind leaving us a review? It'll help other people, excuse me, find us that were in the similar situations as yourself, right? There's other people that want custom made tables. There's other people that have HVAC related needs. And if they think that you did a good job, which of course you should be aware of that if you're asking for the review. But if they did a good job, right? If your business did a good job, they're going to leave a review. And if you're standing there, you can directly text them the link. Say, hey, if you wouldn't mind just talking about our process and what we did, that'd be great. And then what you're going to notice is your reviews, because it's nice if they put in like your services in there. So if you're a roofing company, you want someone to say, hey, they came out and replaced my shingle roof, right? In Ellisville, for example. You want them to put those service terms in there because the more times you have roof or HVAC or heating repair, AC repair in those reviews, the more likely Google is to show you, of course, on Google search. And that's the whole point of SEO, right? Marketing and Google ads and things like that. If someone's searching for what you do, let's have you be found. Generate reviews consistently, create a process for that. Don't be weird. Don't make it nervous, right? That's like the big thing. It's like, well, how do I ask for that? Isn't that weird? It's like, no, it's not weird. It's not weird. I don't know why restaurants don't ask for it, really. Just take $5 off the bill. I'll leave a review. You know what I mean? Offer them, hey, fill out a review. Pay the person that's getting the review at your business. That's also what we do. We do 10 or 20 bucks every review, and then every 10 we do $100. It's well worth it. And of course, this is going to our internal team, right? So obviously they want to do a good job. They want to do a good job because they want a review. They make more money. It's a pretty nice system. Of course, we have great success doing it. So generate reviews for your business. I just got done talking about this on the previous episode, but make sure you have analytics and everything installed when it comes to marketing, right? If you don't have analytics installed, this is Google Search Console. This is Google Analytics. This is programs like What Converts that we use in order to properly see how all of the leads are coming into your business. Because if you're spending money on social media, on SEO, on ads, you have sales teams cold calling, right? How are these people finding your business. You don't know if you're not tracking. You want to be able to specifically see how they're coming into your business. Was this from Google Ads? What campaign was it from? Was this from Meta? Was this from, not only that, was it from Facebook or was it from Instagram? Was this an organic search? Did they find our Google business profile? Did they find our website? How did they find our website? How did they find the Google business profile? All of these things are important to be measuring. Google Analytics, you can see how well you're ranking. Is that going up on a monthly basis? Your average keyword position, is that going down on a monthly basis? It's very important to know these statistics and these numbers in your business because that's how you were able to make changes and know how well you're performing, especially if you're spending money, right? No reason to spend money if you don't know how well it's working. It's also important to realize that you should be creating short form content for your business, more likely than not. Depending on the type of your business that you're in, if you're a home service business, if you're law, if you're specialty medicine, I mean, you see the short form content absolutely killing it online. And then, of course, you can generate leads from that, right? So, short form video strategy, we've talked about that here on Marketing Monday. Go back, and all of these have been in videos, right? So, I've expanded more deeply into these different topics, specifically in different videos on this channel, but I thought it was important to highlight really some of the more important things that I think you guys need to be aware of, measuring and tracking, and know how well everything is performing and working for your business. It's also important to choose the right marketing agency or the right marketing executive. We have a couple different videos on that. We had a good discussion a couple weeks ago where we got into it about, different red flags with Joshua Ramsey, who's a great guest. We talked to him. Red flags when choosing marketing agencies. One big thing is, hey, do I own the ad account? Do I own the website? What analytics are you setting up and properly tracking and measuring? What's the percent? If I'm spending $1,000 on Google, how much are you actually charging me? Right? You need to make sure that enough money is going to ads versus what's going into that marketing company's pocket. It makes no sense if your management fee is $5,000 a month and you're only spending $1,000 a month on ads, right? So that means, you know, 15% or so of the budget is going to ads. The rest is going to that marketing company. That doesn't make any sense, and that is not how it should be done. Because, of course, how are you going to get a return on investment on that? And this comes a lot to, like, SEO and ads and Facebook and things like that. You want to make sure that the company that you're working with or even the marketing executive or whoever is aligned with the goals of your business. And it's not just them trying to, hey, I only have a $1,500 a month ad spend, and then they're trying to charge you $4,000 a month to manage that. It does not make any sense. So you want to own all of your own accounts, right? They can be an admin and manager in there, but if they say, hey, this isn't yours, do not work with that company. Just don't. It's not worth it. If they own the ad account, don't work with them. If they own the website, don't work with them. It does not matter because long term, you're going to be kicking yourself for making that decision. Because what ends up happening is more likely than not the only reason they do that in the first place is because they're not good at their job. Therefore, you're going to want to leave. But then the thing that keeps you there is the fact that, hey, if you leave all of your marketing assets, all of the history that you have in your Google ad campaign, all of that is now gone if you leave, right? And it's not the right way to do business, but there are marketing agencies that do this. And that's something that you should be aware about. When you're choosing a marketing agency, you would realistically want to be able to see proof of concept with similar types of businesses as yourself. With home service companies, we work with essentially them all, right? If it's painting, if it's deck, landscaping, roof, HVAC, exterior, handyman, right? You name it. We've done it. We work with them. So if we're talking to a new company, we already know, at least we have good history and are aware of how well this should perform because we're doing it right now, right? Now, obviously, it's going to be in a different area because we only work with one type of client in any different city. So if here in St. Louis, we work with a roofing company, which we do, we're not going to work with another roofing company because, of course, that is bad business. And it makes no sense. You can't run two different ad accounts in the same area. How are you going to compete against each other when you're running? It's just not good business. So don't do it. So that's another actually a red flag from a business agency perspective is like, hey, you know, does your business already work with another HVAC company here in my place of business? Yes. Okay. But you probably don't want to work with them. There's also, we also have videos about how to properly set up and build your website, which I think is super important because so many people spend money on a website and it's not set up properly. Just go back and watch that video. It's a super good video that we put out. So, a lot of these videos are only like 15 or so minutes, so it's not too long, but we do dig pretty deep into it. Um, when it comes to the big reason that most websites aren't performing is the fact that a web designer is building it and they have no idea about SEO and what it comes to SEO. So therefore, great, you got a website built, but it's not SEO. So now Google's not indexing it, they're not reading it. Google doesn't know what you do, and no one's finding it. And even if it looks good, it doesn't matter because no one's finding the website. Properly setting up the Google Business Profile is another huge, super important if you're a local company is setting up the Google Business Profile because, of course, you need to start generating reviews and, of course, getting to the point where you can run Google guaranteed ads, right? Google guaranteed is the check mark, local service ads. They're usually less expensive than search ads, but of course, the quantity is, you really can't scale there. You're going to be limited on what you can get on a monthly basis. It's not like go to Google guaranteed, say $30,000 a month. You know, it, it's you're not really going to be able to outbid other different businesses. So, whereas search, obviously, it's a little bit different. You can bully your way to the top, and of course, you want to do that efficiently. When it comes to ads, you're a service-based business. You should be running those ads to a landing page, not to your website. We have videos on here about talking about how to properly build landing pages, how to properly build ad campaigns. Um, I know we have like a 30-minute video, 35-minute video with Matt McGrail, who's our chief performance officer over at Vi. Uh, going through in depth, properly setting up a campaign, properly setting up landing pages for those different campaigns and ad types, and then, of course, properly setting up analytics and tracking in order to see how well all of this stuff is working. We have videos about how to make how to know how well your current company is performing with basic tools that are available to you, like SEO Meta One Click to hold your marketing agency responsible when it comes to your website. SEO Meta One Click is an extension on Google. You can see, your header tags, your page titles, your things like that. And that'll give you a good idea if your website is built out with SEO in mind or not. And if you have more questions about that, we have a video for that as well. It's important to have a plan, right? It's important to properly track and measure this stuff because if you're not, you don't know how to make changes to your current marketing strategy. So I know I went through quite a few things, briefly highlighting them. Every single one of those I just talked about, we have an independent video for those on the channel. If you want to learn more, you want to know more, please go back. Please check that out. Uh, of course, this is available to listen on multiple different places. If you want the video, check us out on YouTube. It's just at Vi Media USA. Of course, if you want to get a hold of us, you can go to vi.media. That's our website. If you want to, talk, if you have comments, please leave them. If you have questions for us, feel free to DM us. To email us. Give us a call. You can DM myself, Eric Kempf Brown, across the board. more than, more than willing to, help anyone that would like to know more. So we appreciate everyone's support. This is another Marketing Monday episode, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye bye.